Slaanesh has at times suffered from a similar weakness to vampire counts, to large, powerful single entities. Black Phillip then, as a vampire count and Slaanesh player, should be well equipped to deal with this situation. Let's see what he's got in this Slaanesh army here. Front line of Chaos Warrior Hell Scourges, very in vogue right now, very good with their poison. We got some Marauder Horsemen of Slaanesh, some Heart Seekers, including the Regiment of Renown, Eternal Entourage. Exalted Keeper of Secrets does have direct anti-large bonus of 25, pretty solid damage, and of course Lore of Slaanesh spells. And we've got the Sibilant Slaughtercade Chaos Chariot, which I believe also got a mass buff in the 3.1 update. Up against them is Rocket Ruse Lizardmen, rocking Mazdamundi as the Lord. He's got the Shredder of Illustria, yes, that giant beast of doom, I'll just say. Rev Crystal here as well, and a front line of Skink cohorts with some Skink Javs, and a back line of Feral Cold Ones, as a lot of money has been spent on these single entities. Mazdamundi, of course, up on his mount, gives him a ton of armor, great charge bonus, armor piercing damage, poison missile attacks with the Skink blowpipes on the side. And there will be quite a bit of range damage coming off both of these single entities as they kind of poison passively around them. That said, the Lizardmen did not take any Red Crest type units, so they won't be immune to the contact effects of these Hell Scourges, which will definitely benefit Slaanesh greatly because they're so squishy. That little bit of damage reduction definitely helps their units just survive that much longer, and sort of the dichotomy of the warriors being the tanky units and the demons being the very squishy, hard-hitting units really gives you a very clear kind of hammer and anvil purpose and build setup. But Black Phillip, for now, is going to keep his Heartseekers well in reserve. This is the glass cannon portion of his army that he has to be very careful with, along with the Keeper of Secrets, of course, as well. So for the time being, just going to move in with the Hell Scourges here. The Feral Cold One's a little bit late to react, but Rocket Rue does get in there with his two big monsters. So he might just be holding them in reserve, honestly, to help protect the backline against some of these threats, even if they won't necessarily stop them very effectively. But Lizardmen, a lot of their power is going to be revolving in these single entities, so might as well just get stacked up and start swinging. Of course, again, the poison, and I mean, weapon strength of these guys is high enough. I don't know, I'd have to see their splash damage if they're actually one-shotting unit models or not, but potentially the poison and physical resistance is helping out there. A little bit of magic from Mazdamundi is going to help seal the deal. But we're going to see a flank attack start to develop from Black Phillip here as he moves in with the Sibilant Slaughtercade. Going to follow up now. Keeper of Secrets' big overcast net, though, is cast on his Marauder Horseman. Mazdamundi's going to unleash some hell here. Yeah, banishment going down on this blob of horsemen. Not going to do the most damage in the world. The banishment, unfortunately, goes kind of the wrong direction, but Heartseekers are going to start their flank attack as well, eliminating a unit of Feral Cold Ones and then immediately moving on to the next target here. And they should be able to help roll up quite a bit of this infantry. Speaking of infantry, Chaos Warriors definitely taking some beatings, but the few on the far side where the Lizardmen are lacking in elites are actually doing quite well and helping to kind of hold down the Skinks, Feral Cold Ones in those positions. But the Heartseekers immediately come in and collapse. I hope you saw how fast that health bar went down for that unit of Feral Cold Ones, and these Skinks, they're immediately going to run away from this situation, though. Well, looks like kind of cycle one in and one out to try and not stay too long against these big monsters. Very important that Black Phillip keeps either of these Heartseekers alive, preferably both, so that he can use them. Ooh, one of them gets netted there by Mazdamundi. That's going to be pretty nasty, as this is the Eternal Entourage are forced to just sit and fight. They do have 50 melee defense, though, which is very high, so they're not going to take a ton of damage very quickly, but still not great. I mean, very low HP, very low armor, relying on the physical resistance primarily. But anyway, he needs to keep one of these two alive to help support. Obviously, in the late game, the Exalted Keeper of Secrets doesn't have enough HP or, you know, staying power to really hold its own against these two big lizard monsters. So having that support of the elite cavalry here, armor piercing in a surround, especially when they get devastating flank or charge in on a surround, they can do a hilarious amount of damage. So definitely need to keep these support units alive, keep them moving away from the Skinks. The Eternal Entourage are getting dangerously low here. Their demonic leadership is getting pretty close to just giving out. They'll pretty much die instantly. The Heartseekers' regular unit, though, is still doing pretty well. Meanwhile, the Exalted Keeper of Secrets here, popping its ballet of blows. Get in there and force the Rev Crystal away. Meanwhile, if we take a wide view, we do still have quite a few Marauder Horsemen who have come back from route, kind of been getting chased around by the Feral Cold Ones a little bit, but definitely will be able to help provide some support also in the late game. And Chariots can often be a risky plague against Lizardmen because Saurus Infantry and Temple Guards obviously have so much mass, but the Skink units are quite vulnerable to them, so in a build like this where your opponent didn't bring any of those heavier infantry, these Sibilant Slaughter Kids will do quite well. Should be able to rack up a lot of kills and disruption on these Skinks, especially as they get hit by that, what is that, Fascination? Going to do quite a bit of damage and rampage the units. They're not able to provide support into other areas, but it looks like this Eternal Entourage, the other Heartseekers, were able to survive, wheel up and around, get a nice hammer and anvil charge with those Chaos Warriors. So these two that had attacked on this far left flank are still quite healthy, with a lot of the mobility as well. It does look like the Feral Cold Ones, though, are going to collapse in here, take out these Chariots. Ooh, nice little whip action there as well on some of the stacked up Skink Infantry. Osmundi's going to pop his Gungan Shield and try and save the day, but it doesn't look like, well, who knows, the monsters are coming in here, and the Skinks, for the time being at least, are holding their leadership together. But the Heartseekers, the Eternal Entourage, they are in a really nice position as that Chaos Warrior there in the back gets nuked. Lizardmen obviously lacking in mobility, and just, I mean, both as a faction and in this specific instance of this battle where their mobility has been completely eliminated, especially with the demise of this last unit, Feral Cold Ones. So great use of the Heartseekers there, keeping them on the move and into the right targets, and just trying to isolate these big single entities in the late game, while still preserving enough HP on these important high-value units to get the job done. See if Black Phillip can finish the job. Certainly Rocket Rude's been doing a great job sustaining the single entities, prioritizing his heals and micro on the units that matter, even though the lack of support could prove fatal in the late game. We'll see if it ends up mattering here. Marauder Horsemen are going to unleash some of their javelins that remain. I mean, Shredder of Lustria does have 100 armor, but it's only 100 armor, which means the javelins will be able to do a decent amount of damage to them. Yeah, 7... Yeah, it goes down to 6, obviously, when they're poisoned, in terms of armor piercing damage, plus the non-AP, which could get up to, what, 6? Between 0 to 6 damage on the non-AP damage. So it's something. It's definitely something. But it looks like another ballet of blows going to be popped here as the Exalted Keeper of Secrets rushes in. Mazdamundian's Lock are a little bit away. Rev Crystal's kind of fighting these Chaos Warriors, so it's a pretty good 1v1 situation. Of course, now with the added benefit of all these Heartseekers in here. So, a great situation for Slaanesh. Can they capitalize? Looks like another Gungan Shield going to be popped from a distance there. Mazdamundi as he tries to work down these Chaos Scourge Warriors. Although, probably really should just reorganize at this point and try and get over to Shredder of Lustria. Try and reunify here and fight all as one, but the Keeper of Secrets definitely getting hit pretty hard here. I mean, obviously that massive weapon strength of Shredder can put a beating on that weird demon. But I'm going to see another Apotheosis heal here, a little bit of heal. And the Heartseekers again in a surround. Just wanted to again point out, kind of from an overhead view, as they get a surround here, they'll be getting the benefit of that devastating flanker if they're cycle charging or they have their charge bonus active. Just in general, going to make them perform extremely well. This is pretty much an ideal situation. Them attacking in the rear arc, the Keeper of Secrets fighting in the front. We've got some javelins for missile support as well. And the Shredder is likely not doing great. Yeah, it's getting pretty close to its healing cap as well from both the Rev Crystal and Mazdamundi, dumping heals into it. It looks like the Eternal Entourage are going to face demonic instability and pop there, but the other Heartseekers are still alive, as are some of these critical Chaos Warriors. And the Shredder's slow speed at this point is going to completely prevent them from getting away. I guess it is them, right? Because it has a bunch of skinks on its back, so it is a group of individuals. Anyway, the Rev Crystal here also is the next target to get singled out. And with Mazdamundi still just grinding on those warriors in the distance there, yeah, definitely a little bit late to the party, is going to allow these single entities to be summarily defeated in detail. So there you go. We'll fast forward through the late game as the Keeper of Secrets is able to finish off the Rev Crystal, trying to chase off the Shredder as well, and then finally moving in for the kill on Mazdamundi. Handful of Heartseekers critically are able to get a nice rear charge here, just full devastating. Nope, they noped out. Okay, that's fine. No, here we go. Devastating flanker straight to the back. And the side arc, see how many of them are able to get in contact? Well, it doesn't matter. Mazdamundi routes, and that's going to be game. So very well played to both players. Nice, fun, clean land battle. And yeah, both those Heartseekers did very well. Surprisingly, the non-ROR actually survived longer and did better. I guess the ROR just being more of a priority target kind of does make sense in that way, but very impressive value. Love to see that great use of that high-value elite cav. And then, of course, the Exalted Keeper of Secrets also gets quite a bit of value. The Sibling Slot Arcade, even though it didn't get a lot of, like, raw gold value, 11,000 damage dealt and 150 kills is still pretty serious, and from a tactical perspective, having something to help clear out that chaff very quickly is quite useful. The Hell Scourges also, I mean, they're a reliable backline, definitely your best kind of anvil unit, most cost-effective anvil unit, at least, for Slaanesh. And then, of course, Marauder Horsemen, despite getting horribly bombed by Mazdamundi, were able to still come back and generate tons of value with various support abilities. Shredder definitely paid for itself. Mazdamundi, probably pretty close. But the rest of the support build, I mean, these lower tier units often struggle against kind of the mid tiers to elites of Slaanesh. That was most of Black Phillip's army here, so they didn't really have a lot of targets necessarily win against, although the Javelins did get some good value in certain circumstances. Maybe, yeah, better value with the Javelins into, obviously, the Heartseekers if possible. Would have been quite nice. But anyway, that is why you play the games. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.